Hey,
That would have been. That definitely should have been my. Should have been what I had done.
Stop being an idiot.
Look,
Hey, everybody.
We didn't do
We are-
replay of Berlin where we changed direction like 10 times before we decided where to go.
There we go, and that's what happens in the pre-show, everyone.
That also happened, by the way, later on that night.
Oh!
Hey, it's my
Look,
79th month anniversary.
Congratulations.
A special something that was brought to us by Google, yes.
It's not my fault that Google broke.
Hey, we took the wrong bus. Let's just take an e-scooter each and drive home.
That was
Oh
fun.
no, this e-scooter
Well,
doesn't work with this app, and that e-scooter
That just
is
sounds
on here,
dumb.
And yeah,
Hey,
that
hesitate.
was an adventure getting home.
The fact that we didn't realize that it was the wrong bus until it had terminated.
Oh yeah.
That was something. So yeah, if you're just joining us, I guess welcome to Push to Talk. We are now talking about
Apparently,
the
just
adventures.
walk.
The adventures that we have.
We are live.
Yes.
I kind of mentioned it, but I just let you guys go. It was good conversation. This, by the way, folks, this is really how the pre-show sounds. What you just had to say, well, that's the kind of stuff that happens all the time. We don't actually talk about what we're going to do on the show. We talk about, Derek Jeter sitting on people's jackets and stuff like that.
Fucking asshole. Let me tell you.
Who has time? Who has time to talk about what we're going to be talking about at the show? Let's just fucking do it.
McLeod, do you like your cat? Are you looking?
Traditional.
You like the cat I picked for you?
I that's an interesting cat. Right, okay, fair enough.
That's a kick-ass cat. It's got a sword and shit.
I had a moment where I was like, oh, he's going to choose a ginger cat, and I was like, oh, I'm going to be fucking Puss in Boots, aren't I?
No, I would no.
I mean, that would have been a choice.
Yeah, it didn't even. Oh, hold on. I gotta mute, folks. I'll be back.
All right, Arnie, calm down.
Drama.
This is where we just hope that he hasn't muted.
It seems like he hasn't, so that's good.
Can you still hear us?
I believe
Twitch
I
chat.
can.
Because he deafened himself for a second.
No, we can. We're still going to stream, so that's good.
Where was the e-scooter adventure? That was the middle of Berlin. It was like a 2-kilometer e-scooter ride home.
Is it like you rent e-scooters and you'll go in like a pack?
I'm pretty sure it was further than that.
It may have been further than that. Matt,
We
are
had
you
to,
familiar with Voy? The kind of e-scooter thing that you pick up off the side of the street and then you just park it at the next parking space close to where you are.
No, but I imagine it's probably very like the London bikes that you can get.
Yeah, similar principle.
Yeah, all right.
So
Okay.
how far do you
So you all rode as like a pack in a bunch of e-scooters.
I'm pretty sure we walked 2 kilometers to get to the fucking e-scooters.
Okay,
And then
so
we
based
drove
on
like 10.
yeah, based on that timing, yeah, it was probably like a 12-13 kilometer journey.
So you ended up e-scooters, huh? So you guys ended up the less intimidating version of an Italian Vespa gang.
To be honest, it
Pretty
would have
much.
probably been faster to just take the wrong bus back to where we started and take the right bus. But Vazaria was like, oh no, let's just take e-scooters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one, like, right around the corner. Right around the corner was like half a kilometer.
It was an adventure.
Yeah, for sure.
And look, the adventures are why we do these sorts of things. It's so that we can have stories to tell.
That's
like
right,
this.
boys and girls. It's the adventure, not the stupidity.
Yeah.
Realistically, I mean, when we say it's the adventure, it's the booze. But I mean,
So it's the alcohol fueled adventures.
Oh, we were definitely completely sober when we drove these e-scooters in normal German traffic.
Absolutely. I even managed
that's true. This is true.
I even managed a sobriety test on my mobile, so obviously we were fine.
We were totally sober. Don't listen to anything they say.
And I mean, in terms of adventures, Mac, do we want to talk about the cocktail bar that couldn't make a Bloody Mary? I mean, really?
Or the multiple places that we went around London that couldn't make you a Bloody Mary for some goddamn weird reason. And then we decided, oh yeah, we'll get a cocktail at this cocktail place. Like, yeah, let's just go and like look at some random ones and pick one. And like, what, it had fucking passion fruit in it and all sorts of random shit, and it was presented in a fucking crystal skull or whatever.
Big
it's
old
like
glass skull,
and you couldn't make a Bloody Mary. What the fuck?
Like,
Okay, I would call bullshit, but I remember a night drunkenly going on a bar crawl around here where literally a dozen bars, none of the bartenders knew what a Boilermaker was.
yeah. Like, I think I possibly asked for this at 5 different bars, and only one of them, over the course of a 24-hour period, could do it. It was the last bar that we landed at, thankfully.
In fucking London.
That's because once you got there, you didn't have to go anywhere. You'd found a better bar.
Let's remember, this is the same guy that actually got like what would you call that bar we went to?
It was a dive bar. It is basically the English version. Like, middle of Berlin.
With this like 60-year-old woman behind the counter. And,
Good.
Him explaining to her how to make a Bloody Mary.
What?
It worked.
It worked, yeah.
Yes,
I mean,
a 60-year-old woman should, like, Bloody Mary should be her jam. Let's face it.
Well, she's German.
Oh, all right.
This is the sort of like German dive bar where what they serve is beer, more beer, maybe a like standard rum and coke or something if you're lucky. Trying to explain that you want a drink that includes pepper and Tabasco and Worcester sauce. I was only missing the Worcester sauce that night.
And tomato juice.
And
like, I was
juice,
I was so surprised she had that. Like,
I'm not.
And she didn't run out.
To be fair, I mean, a lot of people have issues trying to actually say Worcestershire sauce. So trying to say it to a German in sort of German would be really quite difficult.
Yeah, I just kind of skipped to that one.
Just say Worcestershire, and they know what you mean.
But like, literally,
Worcestershire.
She went
Worcestershire sauce. I love that shit.
Yes. Pepper from a kitchen.
Worcestershire.
Have you ever read the story of how that was created and all that crap? Oh man, I hate anchovies.
It's basically fish sauce, right?
It is fish sauce.
Yeah, fermented sardines or something,
yeah,
and other stuff. Onions. It's amazing. Love it. It's so good.
Oh yeah,
it's got things in it.
To be fair, that sports bar was actually pretty solid.
Yeah, we finally. So we went to cocktail bars, went to other kind of bars, etc., etc. And the only one that could actually fashion a Bloody Mary was a sports bar. That's
as well.
Next day, as well. That's the state that London's in.
You should have come to Berlin, definitely. Like that cocktail bar we went to was amazing.
Solid. That was really good.
I've never had like cocktails that good.
But yeah, I mean, we spent our Sunday playing pool and watching the Formula One. So yeah, can't complain.
Formula U. Formula U.
Are you French?
No.
He sounds ill.
No, just quoting little Ricky Bobby, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. Excellent movie if you haven't seen it.
Walt wants me to say Scheveningen. Why do you want me to say Scheveningen?
What does it mean?
It's a town in Germany.
Okay, I thought it had something to do with shaving. So yeah, very sad.
It's just a shout out, Soth. You can give the town a shout out.
Oh, Scheveningen.
Scheveningen.
I have no recollection of that,
Scheveningen.
Senator.
Oh, okay.
Boy,
Never-
we got a hell of a
Actually,
crew here
really?
today, man.
I'm pretty sure there's a Scheveningen in Germany as well.
Yes. Ugh. When's
No,
the,
there isn't.
I'm trying to remember the last time I was here. Was I? When's the last time was I?
Years ago.
It seems. I'm trying to.
No, the last time you
It has
the last
been
time you were here.
age.
No, the last time you were here was August 13th.
Wow. Okay. So yeah.
Because
so,
I was in Pittsburgh that weekend, and
You
you gave
were.
me shit over not saying
yeah,
hello.
not hanging with me,
Oh.
man. You know.
And I explained why, and
I know
no.
you wanted to hang out with Derek Jeter instead of me. I
No,
get it.
yeah, that's it.
Mike's here. Are you alive?
I think
He's in a
Mike's
We
on
bar.
the
don't
bus.
really need to know whether Mike's
So
alive
anyway,
or not.
yeah, I wasn't here on. I wasn't. Was it really the 20th? Oh yeah, because the 13th we did our 23rd was our 25th wedding anniversary.
Yeah.
You know
Last
where I
week
was on the
wasn't-
23rd?
Wasn't a show, and the week before that, you were on a.
Not getting
on a-
married.
I was on the 23rd of this year, last week, right?
23rd of this year.
I was golfing.
Yeah, you were on a forced.
I was forced. I was forced to go golf.
Business golfing trip for an entire week.
It was a forced golfing trip for a week over in Ohio. Where is he saying Ohio? Ohio. Miranda was meeting up with Amaranth in Pittsburgh. Amaranth, I don't think she would come here. Yeah.
Ohio is a lie.
Ohio. Hi.
Ohio is a lie, and somewhere I have the photographic proof.
I just like the Ohio.
Is it just a
State
flyover
University.
state?
It's not Ohio State University. It is the
No,
Ohio
it
State
doesn't.
University.
It doesn't really exist.
Yeah,
It actually doesn't really exist. It's not that it exists, but there's not really anything of any note or
No,
worth
no,
whatsoever.
I mean,
Look.
There's simple reasoning. If no one lives in a state, that state doesn't really
No,
exist.
it's not even that. It's not even that. It is a lie. It is an absolute lie. Like the actual places that are termed Ohio are just other places lying to you and telling you they're in Ohio. And I guess I
Okay,
somewhere I've got photographic proof.
we have to
Because-
investigate this because there's Cleveland,
driving-
and Columbus, and
driving
Cincinnati.
out of Cleveland, leaving
Okay.
Cleveland, going west on I-80,
Okay, toward Indiana.
which Eric can attest. Eric can
Go ahead,
attest.
Wes.
If the maps are correct, this should not work. All right. There is on I-80 a big sign telling you that at the next exit you can get off in 1 mile to go to Jersey Shore.
Yeah, that's true.
Wait, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a true sign. It's funny.
Much like Wales.
Wales is very funny, that's true.
Especially with that 29-letter alphabet.
That's just weird.
No, it's just Wales.
Like, the Welsh consider Y to be a vowel. The only other language that I know of that does that is French, and French
English?
is a bit weird too. Y isn't a
Are
vowel in English.
What's
you
that, Dirk?
sure? Are you
Y is not a
absolutely
vowel.
sure?
We
Really?
have five vowels in English.
I mean, the masculine
Why is it
feminine aspect
consonant?
of
Would
the
you-
French language is weird.
Ah.
Would you really say that's true?
Yeah, Y is a consonant.
Might I try to convince you otherwise?
You
Oh,
might
no.
try,
You can try. You can certainly.
but I don't
try.
think that'll fly, Soth. You know why?
Eh?
Tell me why.
Because Dirk's full of shit.
Definitely.
It's terrible.
What
Hey,
is
if you have
Goonie
fortune
talking-
wheel and you buy a vowel Can you get a Y?
I don't know.
No.
Apologies on that one.
Also, what the fuck is Goonie talking about in when he's talking about big letters on the grass near an airport? Like, what?
I mean,
Links? I
Goonie,
can see it happening, but links?
I'm just going to say this right now, Goonie. All languages are made up.
Thank you, Thor. And Captain Boomerang, for that matter.
I've seen this asked in chat before in previous shows, but I've always wanted to know as well what Dirk's stance on the Oxford comma is.
It should be used.
Oh,
The
there we
Oxford
go,
comma
guys.
is a very valuable part of punctuation, and I think Horrendous would agree with me.
You think?
I will agree that the Oxford comma can be very useful at times. I do not think it is necessary. But I do think that it remains a valuable tool, and when appropriate, should be used if there is any potential for confusion.
Like,
I thought for a
when
minute you were going to rug
for
pull Dirk there.
example, try to
What?
figure
No,
out
no,
if
no, no,
Y
no, no,
is
no,
a
no, no.
vowel.
The fun one, the fun one is, so EM dashes, space offsets or no?
Yes.
No!
Bad Dirk.
I will always say yes on that one.
I know you will. That's why I brought it up.
He really hates when I space those.
I really do.
Kinda great.
It just makes things cleaner. It's like not having double spacing after a punctuation mark. You don't, if it has punctuation, you don't need to also double space it to show that it's a new sentence.
Also, because you're not using a typewriter.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yes.
My god.
If you are writing something I am editing, you did not write it on a typewriter, I promise you.
Oh, did you
Are
notice
you
notes
sure
or something
that-
like that?
You know there are electronic typewriters, right?
There are. An
What
electronic
do you
typewriter doesn't
think
need
Word
it either.
is?
No, like you can, like they function very similar to a normal typewriter. But,
No, an electronic typewriter will almost always use a ball.
well, yeah, there are those two.
You don't need the double space after a period unless you're doing something with a mechanical typewriter, because you need to make sure you don't jam up the keys. That's what it's for.
We're just getting an education today.
Also, heavy breathing.
Is that me?
Horrendous is getting very agitated about typewriters.
No, Horrendous's microphone is just going like, oh, Discord.
Yeah, it's just fucking
funny.
insane.
Horrendous's microphone is basically possessed.
Discord. It's not the mic though. It's Discord. We've done this with different mics. We've done this with different devices. I was doing it on my phone.
I have them all amped up in Discord. He's like, louder by 300% than anyone else.
And this only happens on Discord. I don't have this problem on Mumble.
Yeah, because
You're running an air conditioner behind you or something?
There's
Or that's
fan,
flat.
but it's not
Yeah.
anywhere,
No.
But that's
I don't know. I don't know why. It like.
Mac, just put the CRISPR thing on, Mac, and
Hold it. You know what? Hold it. Wait a minute.
What do you think is on and should be fucking clearing it away?
I'm gonna make a
but
smoothie.
It's not.
I want to make a smoothie.
Oh, now it
right
is. Now it is.
Where's my ninja smoothie maker?
But I don't touch
That
it at
won't be
all,
it.
and then suddenly it just disables itself.
Now that's exactly what goes on with my mic in Discord. I don't change anything, and then suddenly the volume levels change, and how sensitive it is completely redoes itself.
Mac, didn't I give you that that noise cancelling thing?
Yeah, but it's finicky and awkward, and it doesn't produce great results.
Wow,
Yeah.
so it sounds just like Soft.
I have to answer McNair in chat here.
Wow.
McNair, Arendis is not semi-angry. Okay, he's just from New York. I mean, there's no other way to explain
angry.
it. You know, it's just it's how they are.
He's absolutely
I'll
a
cop
little
to
bit
that.
angry.
I'll cop to that. Yeah.
No. This is Arendis
No,
like fairly happy.
At the
I
moment,
think.
I'm not angry at all, Dirk.
Yeah.
Oh, I could get you angry.
Because we've already concluded our discussion of why you're wrong on the EM dash.
For now. We'll
For
wait
now.
until it, hey, look, this is a topic that Arendis and I have been disagreeing on for...
Look.
What year is it?
Here's the deal. Here's the deal, Dirk. All right? Here's the deal. Riley agrees with me, the Associated Press agrees with you, and I think we can all agree if you're agreeing with the Associated Press, you're probably wrong.
Not on this topic, but by and large, as a rule of thumb, that is reasonable. And yeah, Arendis and I have only been disagreeing on this with each other on this topic for like half a decade at this point.
Something like that, yeah.
And it's fine. We have agreed to disagree. But yeah.
I've agreed to tolerate your benighted wrongness, yes.
And I've agreed to, ignore the fact that you fail to use proper vowels in words like color. But
hey,
proper vowels like
I put the H's, I put the U's in all the time on those things. All right, so you just shut the fuck up.
Why do we need the U?
Because it's spelling properly.
It's like how those.
However,
we want a war not to have to include the U. Okay, I'm just telling you.
No, we didn't.
Is that what you fought that war over?
It was over the U in color. It was. I have it on good authority.
Yeah, that didn't even happen until 40 years later.
Hey, I know. We had a cool thing at our house today. I by the way, so my cable company doesn't even advertise on their website that they do this. Okay. But they have Wi-Fi boxes for the TVs. We don't need coax to every TV anymore.
Nice.
Freaking love this. I don't know why. I don't even know. Like my sister found out and had it put in.
So basically your cable company uses Roku's.
They're actually Android TVs.
Google Roku.
And basically, it goes to your cable router, and then they just hook up to your Wi-Fi, and it's regular cable signal, not using your bandwidth for your internet coming in. Right. It does use the bandwidth on your local network, though, right, to send to the TVs. It's freaking awesome. I love it. Now, like, moving TVs around has become so much easier.
Well, yeah.
I'm just very excited.
You don't have to worry about where the cable comes in. You don't have to worry about any of that shit.
The room right above me here is our loft. And the TV is over here, and the cable thing on the wall is over here. Like, the opposite side of the wall. So we have, like, cable, like, tucked between the carpet and the trim, right? All the way around the house to over to where the TV is. Now we can, like, don't need it anymore. It's awesome.
Good.
Just bring that up.
Yeah, no.
Has anybody watched the? Let's. I'm gonna move us in different. Anybody watch the Lord of the Rings? Thing? Is it any good? Is it any good? I have not. And by the way, I don't care about spoilers.
I'm enjoying it. It's been a slow start. I'm still not sure if they're doing it in the way they did Lord of the Rings in terms of the films, in terms of actually like really following the story, or if they're doing it in the way they did The Hobbit, which was just like throw a bunch of other random shit from the historical lore into it to make it work. It seems pretty solid.
So
and it's a good thing to watch, but I'm not sure about whether
So here's
I've
what's going on there.
I've enjoyed it at the moment, so yeah.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it as well. And Dirk, here's what's going on there. The whole thing is set in the Second Age, right? But they don't have the rights to the Silmarillion.
Ah,
Yeah. They can't fuck with the
Oh.
First Age or the Third Age.
No, they can't fuck with the First Age or a lot of the Second Age. A lot of the information in the Second Age is only found in the Silmarillion.
right.
So
right.
what they've got to do is they're reconstructing stuff from the appendices, and that's limiting them. That's why, Dirk, you see a lot of the changes that were made and probably got overlooked.
See,
Like-
but the
map.
That makes a lot of sense, and
Right.
also it's not necessarily a bad thing either, right? Like not being able to fuck with the central functions of the Lord of the Rings historical lore is not a bad thing.
So, question:
But,
why
you
didn't they
know,
get the rights to the Silmarillion?
Oh, that's easy because they started production while Christopher was still alive, and Christopher Tolkien was not going to let anybody have the rights to the Silmarillion. Period.
Gotcha.
The only reason that anybody has the rights to the Lord of the Rings is because his father, the author, and obviously, didn't think it was possible to film it, so he sold those in the I want to say the 60s.
Gotcha.
And he basically said, "Yeah, good luck." And
I mean, they tried to make a first version, like a film of it previously, and it was it was like
right. And
they tried to do it was also it was weird because it was also like slightly and like there was some degree of sort of animation going on with it as well.
It was rotoscoped, yeah.
It was weird. Oh, it was rotoscoped, yeah. That's one.
Yeah. And that was the thing. Like he thought animation was far more able to deal with it, and he'd actually been okay with the Rankin Bass adaptation of The Hobbit. So he was okay with letting the film rights out there because he expected it would be animated. And when Rankin Bass did Return of the King after Bakshi's Lord of the Rings movie, that went back to the same style they'd used on The Hobbit. But yeah, the 78 Lord of the Rings was... I mean, it was Ralph Bakshi, so it was trippy is an understatement.
Yeah, a little bit.
I mean, this is the same guy that gave us Fritz the Cat, for crying out loud.
Yeah, there was some weird stuff that he created.
I thought the rotoscoping worked really well for some things and really badly for others.
You also gotta admit that he got a lot out of it for the budget he had, which was basically nothing.
Bakshi? Oh, yeah.
So I
also,
need to ask
Aragorn being voiced by John Hurt is just freaking hilarious.
I need to ask something real quick. Like they've apparently spent $1 billion on this, right? And
between production and marketing, yeah.
Yeah. So but the thing is, they've have they budgeted this for 5 series, or is this $1 billion budget for this?
That
series
was just
and
for
the
this
next
series. That was just for this series.
Yeah, Amazon's not very good.
They're looking at probably breaking $2 billion by the time the next series is done.
Oh, okay.
And for you Americans,
maybe thought maybe they budgeted like that for all 5 seasons. But okay.
It's weird though because like at least in the first episode you have so much like conversation going on, like not really big action pieces.
No, there's a lot.
I wonder where the money went.
Well,
but that might pick up in later episodes. So.
Yeah, the second episode starts to give you a hint of that.
So,
yeah,
I want to mention this because, like, I think it's quite pertinent. But like, I've watched, when you go back and watch, like, say, the first two episodes of first 2 episodes of Game of Thrones, right? It doesn't exactly grip you. in very much in the same way. It's kind of a long burn.
Sure?
I gotta say the siblings
it
fucking in the
took me-
tower did grip me.
It took me 3 or 4 times to actually get into
the big
Game of Thrones,
the big grab,
the first 2
the big initial grab for Game of Thrones is incest. Oh my God! Did he just push that kid out the window?
And then, oh, sweet summer child. That's like the most tamest thing.
I know.
Everything else is just window dressing in that regard. And so it's like, if it's like, oh, you're just trying to hook us in with incest and throwing kids out the window, then nah.
Damn it works.
I mean, if you're just trying to hook us in with,
I've watched worse things on Kazaa and LimeWire.
That's fucking great. That's a great fucking line. I mean, if you're trying to hook us in with just incense and throwing kids out of a window, I mean, man.
I'm sorry.
That's a fair point, actually.
It's just, I guess the bar's been shifted quite high,
That's great.
But I was just there kind of go like,
also,
it's
wow,
it's a long burn. There's a lot
old
to go
school
in.
reference there with Kazaa. Jesus Christ.
But what I'm saying is clearly this is a long burn. There's a lot going on, meant to be going on in this, in this in the Second Age kind of thing, and in this sort of thing. You can't just do it like, oh, here's a quick sort of 5 minutes of getting
previously on the Lord of the Rings, 3,000 years in the future.
Just stroll right into it, not building the characters up or this, that, and the other. Like, you need that backstory, you need that world building, and amazingly enough, when you're doing that, you can't exactly go headlong into the storyline.
Yeah, and I mean that is the thing that people watching this have to.
Well, you absolutely
remember,
can.
Right? Like, we have to remember that when we're talking about the time between the Lord of the Rings stuff that we've seen on screen already, and the Lord of the Rings stuff. I say the Lord of the Rings stuff, the extended universe stuff that we're now seeing on screen. It is a 3,000-year gap.
More actually.
It's and these are years in the kind of generic sense of these are years rather than this is a 365-day year or whatever.
No, it is. It's 365-day year, yeah. But
yeah.
I mean, I will, concede to horrendous on that point, but yeah. So we're talking about a hell of a long time before.
Definitely a long ass time.
What we have seen on screen before previously. The Shire as a thing technically doesn't exist for anybody who knows.
So I wanted to ask,
the realm of Gondor and
no, here, Dirk,
they don't exist.
Dirk, here's the fun one. Ready? Near as I can reconstruct, at the time that we're seeing right now, Elrond is younger than Legolas is in Fellowship.
Yes, he is.
Significantly younger.
Oh, okay.
And Elrond manages to last through to the Third Age, so there's we've got a question about how that one elf survived something beating the crap out of him.
He moisturizes really well. Okay.
Like that's kind of how elves do be a bit.
Yeah, they're a little bit more durable than people.
Just a little bit, a lot of it.
I did like in that second episode, like the whole kind of 20 years thing, like.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was a nice little. It's only been 20 years.
Yeah.
Well, I fucking lived a life for 20 years, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he's a dwarf, right? He's like, he's not exactly.
He's not exactly a mayfly here.
Yeah. So yeah, 20 years, long time for some, very short time for others.
Yeah.
But no, it's been good. It's worth watching.
I also appreciated the whole whole confrontation between Elrond and Galadriel with the "You have not seen what I have seen." I'm going to lecture you now, bitch. I am already thousands of years old. Fuck you.
That was pretty great. I did like that.
Hey, you know, different lives, different. You know, may not be at the front lines of all things. She seems like she was.
She was absolutely there.
I am amateur hour kind of Lord of the Rings sort of fan here, just so you know.
This is basically like Elrond getting his start in everything, whereas she has already seen war, famine, pestilence, and death. He's just being the hopeful motherfucker that thinks the war is done in 2 years and everyone can go home and everything is nice and fine again.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason that Galadriel in the Lord of the Rings is jaded and hiding in the forest. And also knows that she shouldn't take the One Ring because she's already been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Yeah. I wanted to ask, actually, Renda something about the Harfoots. Because apparently they're being set up as basically being sort of like the genesis to Hobbits, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, fucking brain. But I guess that was never really covered, or Half-Words were never really covered in the lore as such. But was the genesis of hobbits ever really covered aside from flashbacks of
yes,
Gollum's
actually.
past or whatever?
Yes, we know that hobbits hobbits were wanderers before the Third Age. We know that both the Stoors and the Harfoots are from east of the mountains originally, and they're in roughly the right spot for them to have been. They will keep moving further west, eventually settling around the river Anduin, which is where Theoden's people know them from.
Okay,
we don't get this in the movies, but
it's in the
you find out in during direct conversation in I think it's Two Towers. You find out that the language of the Shire and the language of Rohan are actually fairly closely related. The Rohirric word for what Merry and Pippin are is Hobbitlan. So
yeah, okay,
and that means hole builders in their language. So
it's not like Harfoots are completely just.
Oh no, the Harfoots are one of the fairly accurate things they've got there. Yeah.
Oh right, okay. Because I was watching some reviews of it, and then basically saying that Harfoots were basically a complete fabrication of
Nope. No, not at all.
That does not seem right because
Yeah, there's a couple of comments in Twitch chat about Hobbit lifespan and such, and yeah, they're generally landing around a human, but there's lots of there's well, I say lots. There's certainly an amount of interaction between hobbits and men at various points.
Yeah, they're probably some offshoot of men.
Cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the interesting things that I picked up on a second watching is where all of the action in quote the Southlands is actually taking place, because they show you zooming in on the map, and that's all in Eastern Mordor.
It just wasn't Mordor at the time.
Right.
It's like Gondor and Rohan. They just don't exist at this point in the historical canon.
Right.
These things come a lot later. I mean, we're talking about the time of Numenor, basically. This is back when Numenor was actually
the Rohirrim won't be anywhere until about like they won't be the Rohirrim until I want to say about another 2,500 years at least.
Something like that, yeah.
And that's in the compressed Amazon Second Age. If we re-expand the whole Second Age and put this thing back to where it should be starting, you're talking more like 5,000 years.
It's a long ass fucking time for empires to rise, fall, rise again in different forms.
Yep.
So, like the whole, if we're talking about the whole thing, like even just like the big Gondor versus Sauron, Isildur, yeah, it's a long ass fucking time.
Yeah.
Sometimes authors like to make these, massive, separations of in terms of scale. I don't know why. To give them mass amounts of time to do whatever they needs to happen.
So, anything happening in Eve?
Apparently you can walk faster than Jita at the minute.
Line goes down.
Line also does go down.
The Isk velocity stayed.
We could always talk about delicious slopes.
Isk velocity
and if you
stayed
know what
relatively
that
level.
reference is,
But I mean,
by the way, can I ask before we go into Eve? Before we go into Eve, what is wrong with Sothashul's camera?
It's
the target.
It's set to 60 hertz, and the light is at 50 hertz.
Oh, hooray!
Yeah. And
so
I can't change
the problem
it
is
while the camera's running.
Gotcha.
It's the same effect that you get when you record like a car wheels going, and sometimes you'll get this sort of like you'll get this sort of like optical illusion of the wheel looking like it's going backwards when you know it's not going backwards.
Or taking a still photograph of an old CRT monitor.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like, too.
Well, it's the same thing happening, right?
Right. Conflicting flicker rates.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That's like when
Can we talk about Dota going to being, only half of its population?
What?
Well, that's a fun one.
Say that again?
That's a fun one, right?
That's a great one.
I get the idea, but not quite apples to apples.
Yeah, because Dota has like a few more players.
There's a few interesting parts of this. So we need to give the viewers some context here for what we're talking about.
All right.
There was a question at some point somewhere.
Once upon a time.
About the continuing slope of EVE Online's peak concurrent user count. Because
somebody have
for the first time, for the first time this week, EVE Online's PCU dropped below 12K in US time zone.
No, that's you're reading the stats wrong. That's crazy.
No, it was 12K in US time zone.
By the way, just being facetious.
It dropped below 12K in US time zone.
I'm aware.
So
yes.
You guys really need to check your snark meters because Eric was clearly being snarky there.
Yeah.
So that's the first point that you need to kind of recognize. And then you have a question posed to CCP community staff about how they're feeling, about the way players are thinking, about how players are feeling, and whether or not this continued decline in concurrent user count is, irrational, reasonable, a thing that people should worry about or not. Spoiler, you should be worried about it if you give any sort of shit about EVE Online, but there was a response that suggested that, CCP aren't too worried about it for various
everything's
reasons.
fine.
Nothing to see here. Moving on.
The peak concurrent user count of Dota has halved in the last 6 years, from 1,000,002 to 750,000. So this is where you start to get into the Reddit fun, because this gets posted to Reddit, and CCP Swift decides to get involved.
How swift is
never
he?
a good move.
How swift is he?
Responding. Yeah, he was pretty quick. It was like a few hours.
There are times when Elise has said stuff and it's been on point, but like, Jesus, he needs to check what he's saying.
He needs to learn
on
when
a-
not
Yeah.
to
on a bullshit meter
step in.
and determine whether he should actually be putting those in public.
The reason that McLeod is referring to it as a bullshit meter is
Mhm.
because involved in this
Swift
post,
was full of shit. I mean,
where Swift basically says, "Hey, I said that, but this is taken out of context." It wasn't taken out of context, just as a point. It was a post that showed Swift's comments and the graph of Dota's PCU over the last 8 years.
It wasn't out of context. It was just people, decided to check up on what he said.
In that comment, Swift basically says, "I was taken out of context, but hey, look, EVE is fine. CCP is still very happy with the state of EVE Online, and we're still working on it. And if you are worried about the new expansion, you can talk to your CSMs. But also, CCP and I, and this is a direct quote, CCP and I do not brush this under the rug." He didn't use lightly. What did he use? He used a specifically, it wasn't callously,
he didn't. Really?
I have a quick question.
He basically said, "We don't brush this under the rug lightly, but..." So the exact phrasing, once I find this in Discord... carry on, and I'll find the exact phrasing and tell you, but...
Well, we would if you would stop talking.
Yeah,
I don't really think we so much need the exact phrasing to be able to go, "Oh, so you brush it under the rug, just not lightly."
It was a form of damage control.
And right after that, he brushed it under the rug.
It was a form of damage control where the damage control person decided that instead of picking up the pail of water, he picked up the gallon of gasoline.
So flippantly was the word.
Not knowing whether we could actually play this, I'm just gonna post this link for everybody to go to YouTube and see 5 seconds here.
And I'm just seeing a sentence that Swift included in this response that kind of makes this kind of crazy. Because on an official CCP account, he said, "As a player, I'm confident that EVE is not only in good hands, but on the right path."
Jesus.
In the right hand.
As a player.
As a player.
Sleepwalking off of the fucking edge.
He's only responding on behalf of CCP, but as a player, he's confident.
Is that the evolution of as an FC?
Yes. CCP as players are fine with this. CCP as CCPers, perhaps less so.
So should we start every Reddit post with "as a player" now?
As a player.
No. We should start off every post as an armchair developer.
Yes.
Ooh, yeah.
No. We need to resurrect the customer phrasing. As a customer.
As a human being.
As a paying customer.
As a meat bag.
I think a lot of people would look at you putting that in and see you putting it in Reddit and being like, I don't know.
See, I can't necessarily say as a paying customer, Soth, and I don't think you can either. But as a customer...
No, because CC... Well, someone is paying for our sub, it's just on us.
As somebody who might be a paying customer at some point.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
You almost said the oy vey, didn't you? Maybe not. Okay.
So yeah.
So I put the
that happened.
So yeah,
that was the thing.
So basically, I got nothing. I got nothing.
It was essentially somebody jumped. He decided that he wanted to jump into the conversation to do damage control without reading the room, reading what was being said, and looking at the associated evidence to it.
So
and just said blah blah blah. CCP good.
So we really haven't been at this player count since February 18th of 2006.
Well, that's good. That's good. That means that everybody now can basically expect to be able to tell the same kind of since 2006 stories that we've been hearing from old fogies forever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm just saying,
that's how it works.
If this is a stock and I'm reading the chart, I'm gonna short the fuck out of this stock.
I mean,
I'm selling on Tuesday.
No, you're just not reading it right. You just need to be, you need to be Australian and read it correctly, and that looks fine.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, or turn the chart 180 degrees. Oh wait, the line still keeps going the same direction, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Can you
it does.
Can you throw images? Can you throw images up on the screen?
I'm not prepared to do that with the stability of certain environments right now.
Well, because
also in other news, I have heard Erik utter the words, "I should switch to OBS" earlier today.
Followed by Sots going, "There's a problem with OBS. Don't download the latest version."
don't do use the latest version.
I do.
You gotta go back a couple, but
he doesn't need to go back. He just needs to not download the most recent version.
Yeah,
but
those are really good charts,
issue.
and I would like to share them, but I cannot.
Like the current the version of OBS that I'm on is 2 versions back, and it's still fine.
Yeah, I love Starscream. Coffin Titans are back in style again. I'm bringing out my Coffin Titan and my bell bottoms are ready to go, baby. All right.
Oh yeah.
Plaid bell bottoms. Not even. I mean, we're going all the way.
Yeah.
Corduroy. Plaid corduroy bell bottoms.
Did they even make plaid corduroy?
I can't imagine they did.
That would be so freaking scary.
That would be incredibly awkward to make.
Oh, Me Too would like us to comment on the opinion of the word irregardless, apparently.
It's not a fucking word.
Hi, Tam. How you doing, babe? There you go.
Irregardless is not a thing.
Yeah, because that would be regarded, right?
It would be regarded.
You're basically creating a double negative within a single word. It doesn't exist. It's
Yeah.
not a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're just kind of
we're here
on the state of
here,
which is
yeah, business as usual. Although we did kind of we did sort of ease everybody into it by not talking about Eve and talking about Lord of the Rings a little bit.
We managed 40 minutes before we got into the Eve talk.
Yeah,
I know, because I waited.
Well, by the way, it's Labor Day weekend.
You were having
here
fun.
In the
I didn't want to
States.
interrupt.
So, hello to all the
although I think probably one of the positive things that we did talk about regarding Eve is the player meets that we've been to.
Yeah, it sounded like those were lots of fun.
As it turns out, the best thing about Eve continues to be the community.
Other than Dirk deciding to make you walk 80 miles, McLeod, or something like that.
That hurt, Dirk. That hurt. You just slipped that one in there.
Got a fucking grenade.
mean, even with everything that's been going on recently, am I wrong? Tell me I'm wrong.
No, and Vegas is coming up. Woo woo. I am
Vegas.
gonna have such a good time.
I would say, and this is kind of an odd one to say, especially on here and especially on INN. I did meet Kenneth Feld, and it didn't end up in a punching match. In actual fact, it ended up in, a selfie.
I'm not.
And nice words
forgiven
to
you
each
for
other.
dragging me into that.
Hey, you dragged yourself into that. That wasn't me dragging you into that.
I just came over to see what you were having a conversation with him about. I did not expect there to be a picture involved.
Well, shit happens, man. You have to roll with it.
Well, life's
sometimes.
just full of these little surprises, Dirk.
Yeah.
Isn't
it? X Slushy in Twitch chat.
Hey, at least he didn't steal anybody's alcohol.
Fuck off.
I don't want to. Sorry about perpetuating bullshit, but yeah.
That was Elo.
Anyway,
yes. Sorry, my bad.
In Twitch chat, we have somebody asking, is it still worth resubbing for a year, or is it not going to last?
I'd resub.
Who's got a take on this? You'd resub for a year?
Resub. Just do it.
Yeah.
For 1 year? I mean,
I think there are people with enough grudges in this game to, even if the grudges are to people who, aren't playing the game anymore, will still try and, keep that grudge alive or basically be an asshole to people.
Well,
so
if
will it be
you are
around?
asking-
Yeah, probably will be, but
yeah, like
It'll make a
the
year.
game will still be here in a year. The question is, will it still be fun? Like, can you still actually play the game as it is intended? Because
Soft. Your question presupposes Eve is already fun.
Probably not.
Will it still be fun means it's fun right now.
So having experienced sort of degree of MMOs dying and that kind of thing, and who's left at the end of it, generally the most bitter, the most toxic, the most resentful people end up being the ones that are left right at the end.
Right, because they drive everybody else out first.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's kind of like, will Eve be around? Yes. Will Eve be fun? Depends. It depends if you find enjoyment out of the good nature of people playing the game. Because if so, that might be a little bit lacking. I don't know. We'll see.
I was commenting on this last night because it was frustrating me. I can understand why new players have a very hard time getting hooked on Eve because of some of the high-sec mechanics that are in the game. And I get why they're there, but if you were a new player coming from a different style of game, it would turn you off very quickly. I did all week the high-sec Union Day sites because they actually made a decent amount of money and I wanted the skins. So I started doing them. They weren't particularly too hard, but, still had to pay attention. But these fucknuts just decide that instead of just running their own damn sites, to go into the site that you're in and try to get you to duel them, to kill the rat before you do so that they get the money, even though you've put in all the work of killing the site, or stealing your loot, going suspect, and sitting there hoping you'll shoot them. And I'm like, listen, I'm not dumb. But as a newbie player who maybe if you didn't know those mechanics, or if you've thing is it's never won. I literally went into a site and a guy followed me in, so I literally left it and went to the next site in system, and he came and followed me in there. It wasn't about the money; he was just trying to be annoying. That kind of shit, as a new player from a different type of game, would turn me off instantly from the game because it was very frustrating to deal with. The only reason why I didn't care as much is just because like I can go console myself with my Titans and Supers down in Delve. You know, like I'm not worried about the money. It's more of like I was trying to have fun doing an activity.
Like from a definition standpoint, like when somebody is like, you know, trying to be a pain to you and it's got nothing to do with financial income or financial sort of incentives, like that tends to sort of trend much quickly and far, like, you know, quite, you know, significantly towards the, you know, the realm of griefing.
That's exactly what it is. Yes,
that's what they're doing, and it's a lot of people.
A lot of companies don't actually actively try and screen out people who grieve. But you know, CCP and Online is one of those games that like lets it happen.
Encourages it in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
and that was the hard part. That's the hard part with it, because like there's like very
part of the problem with their whole recent dev blog about, you know, Eve being safe for people. You can't encourage people to treat one another like shit and then act shocked when people treat one another like shit in ways you didn't anticipate.
Yeah.
That's a really good statement, Horrendous. I mean, that's, you know, it just makes me laugh.
You know, and that's why I'm like, and there is counterplay on those sites. Some people will be like, well, why don't you work with another person and kill the people who keep trying to steal from you? I'm like, they're absolutely set up to fight. Yeah. And if you bring a second person in, A, you're cutting into your own money and then B, you might still just lose.
Yep.
I mean, maybe you'll have fun, maybe not, but as you know, I don't have anyone in high sec to play with. None of my friends want to play in high sec. So for me, that is not an option. Maybe other people could, and you know, maybe it does lead to them to having a good time. But if you're a little solo player who are an antisocial player, you're just going to want to stop playing that content and then get bored and move on. Because I figured out a way around it for the most part because I'm faster. But you know, just kind of experiencing some of these high sec things, you're just like, oh my god, I get why people get so frustrated with this game.
Yeah.
Like,
and you know that, and the thing is that kind of attitude, you know, fuck people over attitude that leads to all of the other abuses that CCP is ostensibly trying to prevent. It comes from the top. Because that's what happens when you go out there saying things like, I want Eve to be someplace where people need medication to play it.
Yes, because that is healthy for your players.
Right.
I mean, there's that, but then there's also this idea of you wanting to shape the way that, like, humans do human things. And it's like, that's not really how that works. Humans will do what they want to do. If they don't want to do what they don't. If they don't want to do what you want them to do, they'll go and do something else somewhere else. And,
right, but at the same time, like within the scope of the activities you want to promote, humans are very receptive to this is the kind of behavior that's being encouraged while I'm doing it. Like, if you want people to go out mining, you have to set up mechanics that make them wanting to go mining. But while they're out there doing that, if you want them to be nice people, you have to make sure to encourage that. And if you're just encouraging being dicks, then what you're going to get is dicks.
You know, it's a consistent, just to continue playing on the mining thing, but it's a consistent thing that has always been drama and delve at the very least, which is, oh yeah, this person is stealing my rock because I have a right to this rock. Like, no, you don't. But because that kind of general cooperative, hey, no, it's not your rock. These are rocks for everyone, and but you will mine what you can get, and like, sure, you know, if you don't want to share it, then figure that out. But you don't have a right to anything just because you turned up first.
Right, but that's different from what Dawn's talking about. because what she's talking about is a fairly limited resource that you have to put effort into obtaining, as opposed to the rock that's just there. Like you've got to work to get that.
These little ratting sites take maybe 5 to 10 minutes, give or take the spawn and your fit. But that's, I would say, an average 5 to 10 minutes.
Right.
So very reasonable for somebody who wants a quick hour playtime. They could pump out 5 or 6 of these, and they're 20 mil roughly each. So you can make. I made $1.5 billion in 2 days. I was pretty excited. So you can make some good money off of it. And you also get some really nice drugs. You get some really some extra skins, and then obviously your points for the Union Day. So it's a nice little thing to do. But you say you're putting in this time to do the site, and it's not jump in there with your drones and have a great day. They shoot drones. They're very active about trying to shoot drones. So you have to end they have usually 5 or 6 nuding chips. They scram you and web you and point you and damp you and every type of e-war possible other than jamming is in the site. So you have to pay attention. This is nothing you can AFK in there. So because it's only T1 destroyers and down that can run the sites. So you're in a tiny little ship trying to deal with these things, and so you have to pay a lot of attention. And then when some douchebag shows up after you spent 8 minutes trying to kill this site,
because
and it's just hold on, let me just steal it. They run it with you. As the person who's run 70 of these, they follow you through the entire thing because you can't shoot them. They know that you're not going to shoot them, so they just go through with you. And then they just I had a pair lock me up, and I was like, please shoot me. Go ahead, please. And I've had Kiki's. I've had Kiki's me, and basically the only option that I found was just try to hold off on shooting the final rat and just burn at it as quick as you can and just sit at 0 on the ship before it blows up. That was the only option I had to try and get the money first, which I did most of the time. But they don't wait. They run with you. They see a beacon, they go right in, they follow you through the whole site, and then they just sit there and steal it right in front of you because there's nothing you can do, or very little you can do.
Well, if it's 2 of them and 1 of you, and they're running the site too, aren't you the one stealing it?
No, because I was there first. I was in there first. I was in the second room, and they showed up. I was like, fuck you. There's 4 rooms. It's not show up in the one site and, who got here first. It's very clear who got there first. It's so annoying.
I need to dip because I've got
You're dipping?
So,
I got to take off for a meeting too,
to prep. So
I will catch you guys later.
Alrighty, see you, Renus. Thanks.
You whores.
As it happens, the AT is a thing that I'm putting time into once again because I'm a masochist that way. So I have to go put time into it. I'll catch you all in a bit.
Yeah. So, Palmer Nuts actually just said something in chat, right? And I'll read it for everybody. What is depressing is how much effort it takes to mine and make things if you wanted to do it on your own. Okay. And that's a pain in the ass. And recently I started playing a little Atlas after a long time. For those not familiar with Atlas, you make boats, you sail around, you blow each other up. There's PvP, there's non-PvP. Really nice server that has PvE and PvP, squares on the grid. And it's really nice what they've done. The automation and things, right? You're not mining, you're not mining, right? Same thing. Mining wood, rock, and all the resources that you need. That's all automated. Hey, you just go build ships and blow people up. And guess what? More people are just building ships and blowing each other up constantly. They really took the tedium out of the game, and it's just super enjoyable. I mean, you still have to do things to get things. I mean, it's not 100% simplified that you just don't have to put any effort in. You have to put effort in. Just the tedium is gone, right? So, I don't know. Maybe making things tedious and hard isn't the way to go.
Well, it's not a long-term solution or money grab, or not a long-term way to really keep the game. Some people really like it. I just feel like when you build a game that kind of is very niche, you're only going to get a niche market, and if you don't cater to them the way that they want to be catered to, at some point you're gonna run out of a pool to work with. And some people are like, you know what, I'd rather deal with only 10,000 players, but the game still be the way I want it to be. That's perfectly an option.
Yeah.
But you cannot have both ways. You can't cater to kind of everybody's play, or like a specific play style, and get a bunch of people to play. That's why like League of Legends is so popular, even though Dota 2 is better, and fight me on it if you want to. It's more intricate, it's more fun, it's more deep with how to play. League is still more popular only because it is a little bit easier to get into. It does still have a lot of challenges. It's still difficult, but it's not as difficult.
Yeah, and you got to find that balance, and it just seems like it's hard to find the balance in Eve for whatever reason, right? And I don't understand why it's so hard.
It's because the game's so intricate already and then like they've coded themselves into corners because they keep like half-assing these changes instead of just committing like, we're gonna finish this.
Well, they are committing to finishing something, and that's the new player experience.
Oh yeah. Woo! Actually, I had somebody recently go through it. It wasn't that bad. It did a decent job of teaching. But
look, no one's saying that the new NPE is bad, right? And like, rarely anyone is saying that they shouldn't work on it, right? That they shouldn't invest resources into making it better for new players, right? Definitely. The issue is that they are putting 80% of their entire resources towards it.
I just think they need to work on making that first month like not atrocious for players, because they say like if they can keep them for 1 or 2 weeks, then they could usually keep them for much longer. The problem is I feel like that the game doesn't cater to the game just drops you in like a fish into a giant pond. Good luck, buddy. Like that's what it does. And I don't know if there is a way to fix that. Because, you're going to be in high sec, you're dealing with the gankers. I almost lost my golem last week to high sec gankers. Now, I get it. That's perfectly legit. And I only lived because one guy forgot to shoot. So, I was like, I undocked and I'm like, oh no! Because I was trying to turn my tank on, but I was still like, I had hit warp and I didn't, and so I was like trying to cancel warp and turn my tank on. So, oh god. Because I was trying to redock back in the structure because I was just going to be faster and safer. Thank God the one guy didn't shoot. Oh dear Lord, that would have been 3 billion down the drain. But like
I'm sorry, I'm enjoying endlessly Sothertil trying to actually fix his anime background.
I'm not.
You're not? Okay.
I dropped connection for like
okay.
a second.
Yeah, I mean, watching Soth is like, like I don't have like a rear view mirror. I have like a rear view camera mirror. And when some dude has LED headlights that are cheap, it just like looks like Soth in my rear view mirror.
Yeah, but it looks like that anime background that you get when like you have an anime character doing like a sort of like flying action kick, like, and they have this mental background while he's in the air.
Flying action kick.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But let's see. I don't know if we were talking about Poshman on Thursday, which just sounds like torture. Trying to see if anything else has happened this week.
I mean, how many people are actually living there?
They said the guy we had on, Saint something. I'm bad with names, so don't feel offended. He was a lot of fun to hang out with, actually, but he's from Kybernauts, and he said that he estimates on average there's 500 to 800 active players in there. Not on at the same time, obviously, but he estimates based upon what he's experienced. And apparently Kybernauts is currently running around trying to blow up every structure in Poshven to remove that axis from to get everybody on an equal playing field of having to be in the structures. He thinks it's bullshit that those structures are there. I'm like, yeah, but they were grandfathered in, and like, if you don't like it, go blow it up, because like, I don't think it's bullshit. It's I think it's bullshit that we lost all of our structures, but details here. So I don't always like gatekeeping mechanics, but if that's how they enjoy it. And I asked him, like, how's the mining, since they made the super special ore for Triglavius? And he said, well, mining's pretty much a dead on arrival option, because mining in there, you have to have a defense fleet, and even then you'll probably still get blown up at some point. So, and then apparently there's certain rocks that if you warp to them, you'll get trapped inside the rocks and you can't leave.
Nice.
That's a very, very special rock.
Very.
Like, oh, okay. This game sounds, or that, I was like, that area sounds so fun and engaging. I'm so excited.
And you just can't hide it.
Exactly. But other than that, I don't know what we're going to do now that we're home.
Home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play.
Oh, goodness.
I have to say thank you very much, actually, to Shrines, because in my internet outage period, I literally the point where I literally didn't have internet and where I wasn't actually at my place to, at where I could potentially set up my rig to, maybe get online with like a tethered, a tethered hotspot, that kind of thing. We decided we all decided to go home. I was like, oh Christ.
Yeah, but wasn't In It doing something where like Shines would be like, just give me your shit and I'll move it, and like he worked out.
He was being an absolute legend like that, yeah. So he moved mine next for I think I moved it to GE TAC. I was able to get online to move to GE TAC, but he moved it the rest of the way, which is really cool. So yeah, definitely I have to say thank you very much there to Shines. I mean, Shines does so much stuff like anyway. It's ridiculous.
Finding example.
Has the Zambi Keepstar died
He
yet?
is a shining example, yes.
Has the Keepstar died?
I don't know.
I know they'd reinforced it, but I wasn't sure.
I don't know. I haven't checked Ezekiel, so I'm literally doing it right now. Indeed.
You'd think chat would be able to tell us.
Yeah, you think so.
They're
doesn't
napping.
look like it's died.
Chat's napping. Okay.
It doesn't look like it's died.
Wow, chat. Wow.
See, empty local. See that? Look, you got your chat update.
Empty local. Oh, I wish Arendis was here to go with me. I finally got to use one of those mobile observatory thingies last night. Let me tell you, the fact that it takes 10 minutes to anchor is kind of ridiculous.
Well, I mean, they're really designed for, showing or to screwing up AFKs, not active, active cloakers in a system.
Oh my god. Yeah, but like, we were mining last night, and a bomber or a prospect was in system cloaked up. The tale as old as time, right? And of course, like, they're sitting there camping, and we try to mine, and they come out, and they just let in 20 bombers in, and they blow somebody up. And so we were like, what the fuck can we do? So we're trying to like come up with some options. I was like, get the mobile observatory. Dear Lord, did that person leave? But it took 40 minutes for them to go away. Because it takes like 10 minutes just to get the thing online, and then you got a 10-minute pulse every now and then, right? And it kept
10-minute pulse every 10 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't mean it to say that way. Kind of got like walked myself in the wrong direction on that one. But so it pulses and it decloaks our sinos like every single pass, but not their prospect. We're like, this is lib bullshit. It is lib bullshit. So, and we know he wasn't on grid when the thing popped. Well, most likely wasn't on grid when the thing popped. So I don't think he would have known when the timing was. But we were just like, dear Lord. Like, these things are there's a lot of effort to get this thing set up, and it still isn't guaranteed to actually fucking help you. We had to basically bore them out after an hour and a half to just fucking go away. And we're trying to like think of like options, like, gosh, we haven't had to deal with this in a while. What the fuck do we do? And so, but that was horrendous and nice last night for like 2 hours trying to deal with this.
You don't look at it, you when you're trying to deal with that scenario, you don't look at it in terms of like I'm a defensive fleet. How can I protect myself with this? You look at it from their perspective, their point of view. You look at it like, if I was attacking a fleet, if I was attacking a bunch of miners, etc., with bombers and what have you, what would be my go-to methodology for doing it? And then once you're in that mindset, you go, okay, well, what would fuck with my day the most?
Time leaving.
And then you utilize that.
The sad part is, I've seen someone also whining about it. The bad design on this game is that the most optimal play is to not play. So when you've got a bunch of bombers camping you, and you're limited on options to help you, right? Like, I can't sit there and ask 30 people in Jackdaws to sit there and hang out with us for 2 hours. That no one wants to do that. No one wants to play cover fleet for a fleet on grid for 2 hours. That's not good gameplay, right? So, and then it's kind of...
Once it scales up, then it's okay, because like once it scales up, then people kind of feel like they're getting, decent kill mails. That's one of the reasons why,
Yeah, but you're not even guaranteed a kill mail. You're just going to be sitting there for 2 hours. It's like a really shitty gate camp.
Yeah.
Where you don't even get the option of, ooh, maybe something blingy will come through the gate, right? You're sitting there going, ooh, maybe one of the bombers will be polarized. Woo! So excited.
Yeah, I run polarized ninja bombers.
Yeah, like I would totally do that too. But, the sad part, and there's a lot of parts of this game where if someone's doing an aggressive thing, the most optimal option is for yourself is to not play until they go away.
Yeah, it's the weaponized boredom thing, right?
Yeah, and that's bad game design.
It is. It's one of those things where gameplay should have counterplay.
And there is counterplay, but sometimes your situation does not allow for that counterplay. Right? I can't get, 20... Miners don't have PvP ults on average. So trying to get even 10 of them to be like getting a Hecate or something, right? To sit there for protection would be like pulling teeth. It would go nowhere. It would be just futile and a waste of my time. Why? And how do I know this? Because I've tried it before. It never works. They don't ever want to anything.
The other thing is, CCP has, heavily incentivized the significant use of alts when it comes to mining. Yeah,
and if you don't have your alt out there mining, you're not making any. You're making less money.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like it's one of those things where, like, maybe if we were using, back in the old method, I may have had like an alt or two to sort of, to have sitting there as defense, but I don't, because I have to have it in a mining lodge.
Yeah, so, but we haven't had to deal with this problem in a while, so I've got to brainstorm on what to do.
I'm sure you'll figure something out.
Long term,
the collective brain power of Goon Swarm at your disposal.
It just keeps getting smaller and smaller. Oh, old and senile.
Well, I mean, if it doesn't work out for you, then in it's back home. So we'll encounter these issues that you're going through as well, and we'll figure out something that works for us, and let you know about it. So don't worry, you might have a secondary kind of team working on it as well. And there's always Atlas. Is there always Atlas?
What, Atlas?
No, Bobby Atlas isn't actually playing.
Oh, okay.
No.
So, what's up for the coming week for everybody? Anything good?
I am continuing with my unpacking and my Tetris style gameplay that is my life for the next God knows how long, month potentially. As is always the case when, if you've ever moved anywhere, and you generally tend to realize that you have more stuff than you thought you did. Yeah, it's kind of odd.
I don't believe in moving. No, that's not true. I moved last year, but only move if you have enough people to help you do it.
If moving IRL was as easy as like moving in like EVE Online, that'd be fantastic.
Easy as EVE Online is not. Well, I guess we did move a lot of capitals in a week.
Just shove everything into my Nix. Oh, did it all go in? Of course it did, with room to spare. The only thing that I have issue with is if you're contracting something like a Nix with a whole bunch of ships inside, and then you've got modules inside of containers for fits and stuff like that you need to basically drag out and all that kind of stuff, because you can't contract you can't contract stuff inside of a container that's inside of a ship in a contract because reasons. And then you've got all the fucking issues with ships inside of your capital ship or super cap ship potentially having not enough space in the cargo to put all the charges that are loaded into stuff into the cargo hold. So it's for fuck's sake. Yeah. It can be a bit of a nightmare.
Thank God I never had to deal.
But it's literally solvable if you just methodical and go through it in 10 minutes. Whereas moving house IRL is like a whole other world of shit.
I was gonna say, what is Makalu? Oh, yeah. Makalu leading Tengu fleets gets dumpster and catches. I just finally got to chat. I don't know what the fuck is happening.
Yeah, AAA's Tengu fleet and just getting fucking dumpstered.
Shocker.
Yeah. But you don't talk down to AAA.
My sister-in-law's getting induced today. So she's gonna have
too much information there suddenly.
What? She's gonna have a baby.
Well, yeah, hopefully, I know, but
hopefully today or tomorrow.
How did you
go? You have to use that particular terminology.
AAA to
no, I went back to my.
How did you go there?
The logical jump.
I went back to my original question: what's happening the rest of this week for everybody?
In EVE, you said in EVE.
No, I didn't say in EVE. I just said what's everybody else's week looking like.
Wait. Is her name Eve?
No.
Then I won't allow it.
On a positive note, I actually have a standing desk now, so that's pretty cool.
That's nice. I've been thinking about getting one, but I don't know if it's going to be big. If one of them comes big enough for 3 monitors. I'm sure they do. It's also
that.
expensive.
Yeah, potentially.
Well,
to be fair, if I had my if I had my actual tower off of the actual desk, I could fit 3 monitors on him. So yeah, I would say so.
So apparently Makalu is gonna have a baby this week now too.
Well, I mean that's what chat got out of what you said.
Oh dear lord! But where did Eric go, by the way?
I just fucking left the building.
I've been sitting here like as I said, I just got into chat. I thought he was being quiet, but no, he's just left us, abandoned us. And then we've got a rave show going on behind SoftBank there.
A phone call apparently.
Just leaves us to like entertain everyone, just the 3 of us.
And
that's a dangerous thing to do.
I don't want to get a monitor that holds all 3 monitors out. You know those multi-arm monitor thingies are so fucked. They never quite sit level together. There's always one that's a little bit higher than the other, and then you accidentally knock into one. Like, let's say you get the perfect balance right between all 3 monitors. And you're like, okay, everybody's finally together, you know. And then all of a sudden, like, your cat will jump up and knock one to the side of it. So now it's angled wrong, and now it's going to take you an hour and a half just to get it to sit back where it belongs.
Or you come back the next day and like one has like just slightly dropped.
Yeah, when they just start sinking down to the counter.
That's why I always buy like individual ones. Like I just find that's a lot easier.
Yeah, I just use the little stands that they came with for the things, because all of them, except most of them, I guess I'd say most of them are the same height. How is that possible? I literally have 2 of them that are the same, and yet they're different heights. I don't know how that happened. And then my middle one, I had to buy. They didn't have the same brand, which really bothered me. But I had to buy a different brand, so I have 2 of the same brand and then 1 different brand.
Oh, are they all landscape?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you went with the I want a full vision kind of style shit.
Yeah, because when you play video games, that's how they're designed. I don't need this whole up and down monitor. Like, what the fuck? I guess if you need to look at long lists all day, sure, but if you're not looking at long lists, like, why would you do that? Games are meant to be played in widescreen. Because that's how they're designed.
Because people use their monitors only for games.
Yes. Well, no, I said if you're doing long lists and shit, you could do it the other way, but
like chat and stuff like that.
Or coding.
Chats, coding, data entry, things like that. I could see
websites, all sorts of things.
Maybe. But do we have any? Let's see here. Oh, we have a new unban request.
Oh, sweet summer child.
Redline's like, why am I banned? I'm like, wonder why.
Oh god, don't fall for the red line.
And I don't think I have a choice, because I think my monitors only work with it sitting up.
Wait,
well,
what?
if they have a baser mount, then you can mount them however the fuck you want.
Can I landscape off the base mount?
You should be able to.
Sorry, not landscape. Portrait.
Portrait.
No, that depends on the monitor.
Oh, I didn't.
I would have thought it would be like a general thing that all monitor stands should be able to do. Go, 90 degrees.
No.
I do have a question for everybody. So okay. I'm going to be starting a new Pathfinder session tonight. What should I make for a character? And I don't need it to be good. I need it to be fun.
Pathfinder session.
Yeah. Any suggestions? Like, should I be a dwarf or something, or anything like that? Chat, you can make suggestions if you want. A guild master. No, guys, don't look at fun, okay? Look at like personality wise. I've literally had a dwarf that couldn't read, and that was just like a dwarf that had no beard that could not read. That is no one believed that I was a dwarf the whole time. Somehow I ended up with a rat tail for an arm in my chest at some point. What did I? That my last one, I was a child. I was a 6-year-old child, but I was actually a witch that accidentally went too far with the de-aging process. And
it kind of also depends on the kind of group you're playing with, right?
I'm playing with Genel, if that helps you.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Well, think of Horrendous. That's basically Genel.
Well,
Horrendous might have issue with that.
They both yell about weird
was,
stuff, and they're both fitting masters.
If I was playing with Horrendous, then I would go for some, very obtuse class that's like hidden in one of the extra books,
Oh, that's what they already do. They're like, oh look, let me find this really weird, unique thing and build this this one gimmick that I'm really good at. I'm really good at shooting from 400 meters away or whatever, right? Or casting the spell that lets me just keep casting it nonstop because of some weird feedback loop that the designers didn't realize we're gonna make. A double shield made.
Shield?
Are my shields the weapon? Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Oh, double shield is a weapon?
You just spam shield bash and that's it.
I pissed off my DM the last time we played. Last time we played, because I played a druid, and I just was like, "Fuck all the spells! I'm only turning into an animal," and that's all I did the whole game. Was just kept turning into different animals. But since they have so many different options, I'd be like, "Oh, it's a fire dragon. I shall become something resistant to fire now." And he'd put us in situations where like, oh look, it's gonna take you forever to swim. I'm like, no, it's not, and turn into like a fish. And he could not deal with my shenanigans after a while. But that's why I handicapped myself and said I couldn't read. And let me tell you, I came into many situations where somehow I was the only one who could be in front of a book.
I think that's just karma for you.
Yeah, so I've got to make the character for tonight, so I'm just trying to think of some ideas of what I want to play. Because I'm tired of trying to pick... I can't ever pick the best way to build a character, like, optimally for, like, fighting or, shit. So, because I never know what's good until about halfway through the character build, and then I realize, oh, I like to play like this. So instead, I'm just like, okay... My character's whole shtick is going to be fortune telling, so I'm going to pick all the spells that have to do with that. And then when we're in a fight, they're like, cast fireball. I'm like, I don't have that. I didn't build that way. This is for fun and flavor, not for effectiveness. Effectiveness is just a byproduct. So we want a double shield maiden with schizophrenia.
Okay. Seems to be the go-to.
What about a magus?
I don't really want to spend a bunch of time with spells. I was kind of thinking just building like a fighter or a barbarian. Put as little effort into it as possible.
Ooh, Inquisitor could be fun.
Set yourself on fire and charge ranged enemies. Is that... How do you do that? There's like flame cloak, right? Or something for one of the spells?
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm pretty sure.
I haven't played Pathfinder in like 5 years, so...
Well, it's Pathfinder 2E, so it's
2E, then I have no clue. But
It's much easier than the regular Pathfinder, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, look at I don't know if Inquisitor is in yet in 2nd edition. But that's a fun one. Or just play a fucking barbarian.
Yeah,
They're always fun.
I might go fighter or barbarian. Probably fighter, so I can use shields. I might try the double shield maiden. That might be interesting. I don't know how I can make that look where I'm walking around with 2 shields on my arms, like, or do I just have one on my back and one on my arm?
You get this shield on both, like either of your arms. It's fine.
Okay, those are some ideas. That'll help me out.
There are spiked shields, so they have more bash damage.
Does put me in mind of
I could be a
Assassin's Creed, to be honest.
I could be a defense only player, and I'm using my defenses often. I don't know. I'll figure something out.
I mean, if it pisses off the people that you're playing with, then that's even that can be considered a bonus.
Yeah, but so fighter with 2 shields. What we now need to figure out is what race.
I mean, it's
Something
probably
with
gonna. I've never been an orc or half orc because normally when I like to play pretty characters. But since my DM will never let me hit on NPCs, it's kind of a moot point. I know some people like to look cool. I'm just like, I want to look hot. If I'm going to be pretending to be a player, I want to be hot.
Well, if you want to be hot, then Azima.
What?
God touched.
I'll have to look at their bonuses. Because, obviously, the bonuses on different types.
They have different archetypes. So there's definitely one that has a strength bonus. Definitely.
Let's look at the races. Ancestries. So we got Azarketis, Catfolk, Fetchling, Knoll, Grippleys. I don't know what those are. Habum, Kitsunes, Kobolds, Leshies, Lizardfolk, Orcs, Ratfolk, Tengu, Anadi, Sapient Spiders. I feel like.
Oh, sorry,
I feel like if I
one of those was one of those was one of those in the list Ratfuck?
Ratfolk.
Oh, Ratfolk. Okay. I was like, when did Ratati get in here?
Woo! So when is Ratati gonna get? When is Ratati gonna not be in charge of the economy or the ecosystem?
When
That's a
EVE
fucking
Online
good
goes
question.
bankrupt as a company.
Yeah. I still want to know how they decided that instead of just turning the asteroids belts back on, they decided instead to make a fake asteroid site that has so many big rocks that it crashes your computer when you warp into it. What the fuck?
Realism, right?
You know, you're just
God!
you need to buy a bigger computer.
Yeah.
Apparently that's a way to get out of people chasing you through certain pockets of space is if you go into a system and warp into that, if you're already in that system and they're trying to camp you in there, go to that site, and if they try to follow you, their game will stutter / crash, and it'll give you plenty of time to get out before they can follow you.
I mean, it did say enormous asteroid belt for a reason, right?
What?
Eric's finally back.
Welcome back.
I am
Eric.
back. Sorry about that.
We literally
guys.
had to kill time. I don't know why your presence was as required, but it was.
Sorry about that, guys. I keep getting some phone calls from some folks.
He normally has a rather hilarious sort of American anecdote that he throws in there.
Customers.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. So do you guys have fun without me?
Sure. Yeah.
They started talking about a D&D game of some form that I've never heard of.
Well, I'm trying to build a character, so we were just asking for some suggestions. And no, apparently, sorry, Soth, your suggestion is not an option that I can pick.
Why can you not pick Asimov? Like, one of the
I don't. It's not in here. I don't know how to build it. I'm sure there's some compendium or add-on somewhere.
Thanks for the cat. Thanks.
She's got to be on every show. She is the most, active member of every show that I'm on. Always in the background, always meowing.
They are part of second edition, so I checked that.
Oh,
so
well, it's not on here.
On where?
On the archives for like all the building characters and shit.
I mean, I did send you a link to the Pathfinder wiki.
I'll look at it. I just don't see it right now. So, but I'll see if my DM will let me potentially use it.
Wiki's like kryptonite to her.
Like if he doesn't let you use Asimos, then that's just weird because they are like part of pretty much every Pathfinder game, for example, like video game.
Yeah, well, I'll look. As I said, I'll look at it. Yeah. So, but Eric, what's the rest of your week looking like?
The rest of my week, let's see. I am, personal life. I guess that's what I'm going for. The rest of my week is really, making sure my deck gets installed and my trim gets painted for my windows. So I got to resurface the deck and then get a hot tub on it. In fact, that was the phone call was the hot tub guy saying, "Yeah, we have one in stock. It's the floor model, and yeah, we'll sell it to you, but we don't want to deliver it to you till the beginning of October because we want to have it as a floor model, and we're not getting another one in till December." And I'm just like, well, fuck you. People annoy
Congratulations, you have one less customer.
Yeah. I said, you better talk to the boss and see if he'll sell it, and I want it delivered in 2 weeks because you can deliver in 2 weeks. You just want to keep it as a floor model. So, and I said, there are other hot tubs I can get delivered in the same period of time, and, they cost less money, and they have lots of cool things just like yours. Really like theirs because I thought the potential service would be better. And then he says, yeah, but you got to weigh the pros and cons. And I said, well, you just put the biggest con in front of me. Waiting a month and a half for your freaking hot tub while you use it and I paid for it.
I mean, my experience with regards to purchasing stuff was not as, flamboyant as a hot tub. But I did purchase as you sometimes have to do when you move house, like you realize, oh, I'm going to update some stuff that I've kind of left, just in a kind of like a very fucking poor state. But essentially getting a new toaster, right? And they're kind of going, well, toasters are toasters, etc., etc. I'll just buy a fucking new toaster. Obviously, I'm there going like, well, I mean, I want to get a decent fucking toaster that'll last a little while.
Yeah.
End up sort of finding a toaster that's like really fucking good deal. But, probably people would probably wince at if I said like, I spent 50 quid on a toaster.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a toaster that retails at 130. So wow. I think that's pretty good. Pretty good fucking money off.
I hope you're making lots of toast.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
For about 2 weeks, and I'm not gonna eat toast for a long fucking time.
Now get this, right? So they said, in 3 weeks we're gonna have a hot tub sale. Okay. And we want to have it around so we could show the hot tub on the sale. And I said, well, what's the sale price? Well, it's going to be the same price you paid for it. And I said, so I have no incentive to let you have it.
That's not a sale price. What the fuck? we're going to promote it in this, like, promotional sort of, event. But
Well,
like,
we're
not changing the price.
They say the cost went up $3,000 on that tub.
They filling with oil? What the fuck?
Crude oil, not vegetable oil.
I don't know.
Is
he, so if you're running a sale, what are you discounting it to? Right? Oh, we're going to run a sale. We're just going to keep them at this price, right? That I'm selling it to you. So I really don't know. And I'm at the point I don't really freaking care. I finally got the date when my deck's going to be done and I can stick it on the deck, and I'm telling you to buy a freaking hot tub and you're telling me you want to keep it as a display model. Who does that? We're not talking like a $5,000 hot tub here. I'm not going to tell you how much it costs, but it ain't cheap.
Is there not another hot tub provider in the area?
So the providers all have their own brands, right? So I can go get a hot springs. I can go get a jacuzzi or a Sundance at someone else. This dealer has a different brand than those, right? And if I want this brand with this features, I got to go through these guys.
Yay!
So I mean, it's really bizarre, but I was just like knocked dead. I said I was there yesterday, and I was just gonna buy it. Okay. Now I'm doing some loans with some things, so I'm not gonna do a loan on it. I'm just gonna buy it. You get 12 months, same as cash and all that stuff, but you really can't. You can't go mortgage shopping and go do other loans at the same time. So they frown upon that. And I believe you sign a little thing saying, I'm not going to do this, right?
Wait, what are they trying to make you sign?
No. When you sign up, when you're going for a mortgage, right? You say, I'm not going to get, I'm not going to apply for more credit until this closes, right? Until that loan closes, because they take times to, it takes time. Not that it's just a pain in the ass, so you just don't do it. So I'm not going to apply for a loan. I'm just going to buy the freaking hot tub, right? Because using cash doesn't matter, right? So I was in there yesterday to buy the freaking hot tub, but the guy wasn't there to sell it to me. So he just called me, and he says, yeah, I have to ask the owner if he wants to sell it. So after the show, I'm going to talk to the wife real quick, and if she just wants to go and do it, we will just go and do it. And they will either deliver it or they won't. And if they won't, then we won't buy it. It just blows my mind that, people don't want to sell things. I don't know. So.
But they must not be strapped for cash if they aren't going to be jumping at the yes, please sell it kind of thing.
I don't know. Maybe it was above his pay grade. I don't know. So, he couldn't understand how that was an obstacle to buy that unit. And then, by the way, they don't even know if they're going to run the sale. They know if they're going to run the fucking sale. He knows. Boy. McLeod, I hear that, English people only like their bread toasted on one side because Sting said that in a song. By the way, I know we've been over this before.
Strangely enough, the new toaster that I'm getting can actually toast one side only.
You can, yeah.
Yeah. Although
Why?
I toast both sides anyway. I have no idea.
Actually, you know what? I get it. Because there's this thing called, we sear it, and usually you only
I like my burnt
sear
black
one
almost.
side that I remember
Actually,
for a sandwich.
This is possibly like not the most healthy thing to do, but like just to the point of burnt toast, but with strawberry jam on it. Like it is strangely really fucking nice.
Oh, I like my toast really pretty much black almost, right? Burnt, right? Butter, strawberry jam, strawberry preserves actually.
Yeah.
Not jam, not jelly, preserves.
Yeah, that is actually surprisingly nice. I don't know why. I don't know why that's like.
I toast my bread if I'm doing
nice, like
peanut butter and jelly.
I wouldn't have like toast as burnt as that if I was having anything else on. Strangely.
Oh, just butter. I like it burnt. I just like my toast that way. I don't know. One day it happened at my grandparents. I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. I know I'm strange, but it is.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Oh, it's 2:56 still. We got 4 minutes. Did we do one last thing?
We have not. We were waiting for you to come back.
Well,
we didn't want to be like, let's one last thing and sit here for 10 minutes waiting for you to come here.
Yeah.
Hi, May. You're such a cutie.
No, we cannot continue with something. We've decided to do one last thing, and we have to wait for Eric in silence.
Toast, butter, sugar. If you're going to go toast, butter, and sugar, you might as well throw some cinnamon on that too.
Something else into it.
That yes, because that tastes like a cinnamon roll almost.
Hey, you need to go jelly and
Vegemite
and butter cheese.
Butter cheese.
See, yes. I like the Vegemite and like cheese, like cheddar.
I never had.
And then
Vegemite.
you just microwave the cheese for like 30 seconds. You're good, and it's a fucking lovely breakfast sandwich.
Lovely breakfast sandwich. Vegemite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. America, we got peanut butter. That's what we do. We do the peanut butter and the jelly, or peanut butter and butter. Take a little saltine cracker, put a little butter, a little peanut butter on top of it. That's fantastic.
What about peanut butter and Nutella?
Yeah, that's also good. Yeah. My kids are big Nutella people. I'm not. Peanut butter and Nutella
good. Desserty?
I don't know.
Definitely heavy on the sugar, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm not. I'm not a sprinkle sugar on toast guy.
You know what else is a thing is mayonnaise and sugar sandwiches, or mayonnaise in the South. It's mayonnaise and tomato sliced tomato sandwich. That's a big thing. Mayonnaise and sugar.
I'll
Can you imagine that?
Only because it's America.
What about mayonnaise, a piece of lettuce, and ham?
That's a ham sandwich.
That's. I'm gonna say we're trending into
toast here.
Regular sandwich.
You know what? We were looking somewhere last night for dinner, and they had bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches. Right? Bacon, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise. Right on a sandwich. They had the 1/4 pound of bacon and the 1/2 pound of bacon sandwich. Now there you go.
Fucking Jesus! Would you like some bread to go with your bacon?
Yeah, exactly.
I know. There you go. A 1/2 pound of freaking bacon. Wow. We did not get that. I got the smoked barbecue ribs. St. Louis style, not baby back. So I know that means nothing to like 75% of the audience. Like bacon baby back versus St. Louis. What the hell is that? St. Louis are meatier and then the baby backs. So. All right, that's my one last thing. Let's go around because we should do that. Because we got a minute left. Let's go to Soth because he's on video.
I got nothing.
He's got nothing, folks.
He's thoughtless.
No, he's not thoughtless. He is without a one last.
He's lost the will of thought.
Yeah. Dawn?
Well, my sister-in-law is hopefully going to have her baby tonight or tomorrow or something, and I will let you all know how it comes out. It is a girl. Her name will be Franklin, which I don't necessarily think is a cute name, but she likes it because she wants to call her Frankie. And I'm like, okay, you do you, boo-boo. And I hope everyone has a good week.
Frankie.
Yeah, right. I'm just going to give her a different nickname.
Dawn will let us know how it comes out. It's gonna look like a lizard. That's how they all look. All right, for those who don't know. Soth, you're up. No, you did it. You did nothing. McLeod.
I have 3 things actually, really strangely. One, I'm I'm starting to think that Sothrasil has actually been green screening his background all this time, and we haven't realized or noticed for a long period of time. Because it's surprising how he is not being affected by the the kind of crazy linings and stuff like that going on.
Because the light is behind me.
Yeah, you can make up all the excuses that you want.
I can turn it off.
Oh yeah, because you can do all sorts of things with a green screen. See? The second thing is like it is just like when SLS, because like I was half expecting like the shows to be sort of half watching SLS, half like just talking about stuff. But SLS basically fucking failed again today. So like whenever that's going up, I don't know, but hopefully sooner rather than later. But and the third thing is, I guess regarding regarding Dawn's friend's baby, like we should.
No, it's my
make,
sister-in-law's
your
baby.
sister-in-law's
So it's gonna be my
baby.
niece.
Your niece. Okay, so we should probably make like like Dawn's niece and head out.
Woo! That's a fun one.
Thank you.
Are you all done now?
I'm done now. Yeah.
All right. So I do have one last thing. Congratulations to my beloved Pitt Panthers, Hail to Pitt, beating the West Virginia Mountaineers in the backyard brawl this week. It was fantastic. It was amazing. And I'm very happy because nobody likes West Virginia. All right. Sorry to all the West Virginia people in the audience that I offended. Not really about you. It's just really fun football stuff. All right. That's about it. Everybody, you have a wonderful weekend. To those in America, have a nice long weekend. And we will see everybody next week. Thanks, everyone. Everybody say bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye. Bye.